Have you ever felt that sting of disappointment when someone didn't do what you hoped they would? Well, today, we're going to dig into why that happens. And you might be surprised to find that our own expectations could be the single biggest obstacle to our own happiness. It all really boils down to one very common and very selfish word.
So, what is it? What's the world's most selfish word? I'll give you a little hint. It's not mine, and it's not no. It's a word we all use, probably every day, often without even realizing the trap it's setting for us. A trap that can lead to a cycle of constant disappointment.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to break down something called the expectation trap. Then, we'll look at how this selfish mindset even gets started in the first place. After that, we'll see the incredibly high price it costs us. But don't worry, we're going to pivot to a really powerful solution, the joy of giving. And to wrap it all up, we'll turn the mirror on ourselves.
Okay, let's dive right into the root of the problem, the expectation trap. It's a really simple but kind of dangerous idea, this belief that someone else's job is to make you happy.
I mean, just think about that for a second. It's this quiet, unspoken belief that your family, your friends, your partner, that they have a fundamental duty to meet all your needs, often without you even having to ask. It basically turns relationships into transactions.
So what does this actually look like in real life? Well, it's that person who always puts their needs first. They expect everyone around them to be mind readers. And when they feel let down, is it ever their fault? Nope, never. The blame always points outward. It just creates this completely one-sided relationship where one person is basically there to serve the other. You know, a mindset like this doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. So you have to wonder, what does it come from? Let's take a look at how this all develops, using a really powerful story from the source material for this explainer.
This story is, well, it's the perfect illustration of how this can all begin, and it often starts way back in childhood.
Wow. That quote is just so telling, isn't it? I mean, can you imagine a childhood where every single need is met instantly, where you're so sheltered that your feet, quote, never touch the ground? You're basically taught day in and day out that your comfort is the #1 priority in the universe.
And of course, that kind of conditioning doesn't just disappear when you become an adult. Not at all. It gets carried right into your relationships. He walked into his marriage with this unspoken, deeply ingrained assumption that his wife would just pick up where his mother left off, providing that same constant, selfless care.
But here's the thing, living this way has a seriously high price. And it's not just paid by the people around you. Nope, you end up paying it too. So what is the real cost of a life that's all about I?
It kicks off this vicious and frankly very predictable cycle. First, you have some unrealistic hope. And of course, it goes unmet. What happens next? You immediately blame someone else for your disappointment. Then you feel hurt. You feel resentful. And over time, that just completely corrodes any trust in the relationship.
And here is the real kicker. The ultimate price you pay is your own happiness. You end up stuck in this constant state of dissatisfaction because the world can never, ever perfectly cater to all of your demands. True mental peace, it becomes basically impossible to find.
Okay, so if taking and expecting just leads to a dead end of unhappiness, what's the alternative? Well, thankfully, there is a totally different path, and it's found in the joy of giving. Let's just put these two mindsets side by side. You've got the taker, who's focused on receiving happiness. That might bring a little temporary pleasure, sure. Their whole worldview is, what can you do for me? But then you have the giver. Their focus is on creating happiness, and that leads to a deep, lasting satisfaction. Their question is the opposite. What can I do for you?
You see, the happiness that comes from giving, it's not just the flip side of taking. It's a completely different kind of peace. It's something deeper, something way more stable. It's the satisfaction you get from contributing, not just from consuming.
All right, let's bring all of this home. Because these ideas are only useful if we can apply them to our own lives, right? So it's time for a little self-reflection.
And this leads us to a really tough but really important question. If you look around and you have all the things you're supposed to have, family, friends, some stability, but you still feel unhappy, what is actually going on?
And here's the potential answer, the big twist. Maybe that empty feeling isn't caused by something you're missing from your life. Maybe it's caused by the crushing weight of your own expectations, that constant, unspoken demand that the world and the people in it owe you happiness.
So we'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Just take a moment and ask yourself, where is my focus, really? Is my happiness trapped like a prisoner of my own expectations, just waiting for someone else to come along and unlock it? Or can it be found in the freedom of what I'm willing to give with no strings attached? The answer to that question could literally change everything.